Well, we are back live once again. It's the last 16 round match between Fedor Gorst of Russia and the player representing Vietnam, Duong Quoc Hoang. He got a pretty decent run. Both of the players are undefeated so far. Duong got some wins over Saki Kanaklar, Lefteri Georgiou and Billy Thorpe. He actually beat Billy 8-5 to get this far. And Fedor Gorst in the round of last 32 made a quick work over Skylar Woodward. I think we are going to have one of the American players joining me here for the commentary, and hopefully he will share his views on how strong Duong might be with such a result over Sky. That's a pretty much open rack for Fedor. Well, the 3 doesn't pass to the corner pocket past the 10, so he's got to play it to the side, maybe the combo 3-5. Or actually try to go the other way. Yeah, for the open corner, not messing with the 5 at all, because the position after that is not guaranteed. The position for the 3, if he had to go for the combo. Well, we've got only one, I believe, match from the previous round still going on. This is Ralph Suke versus Ruslan Chinakov. And this is Hill. Ruslan is at the table shooting the 2. Clips the 10 ball on this shot for the position on the 5, and now going 3 rails for the 6 to the corner. Not 3 but 2, with some help of it. Stop in English. Well, he's pretty much straight in on the 7, I believe. Just a nice draw needed. Well, here we have it. This time it is Corey Duell himself, the commentary booth. And well, Corey, what do you think about the player from Vietnam who just beat Sky to get here?
Well, Fedor just beat Sky.
Yeah, it was 8-2, but before that. Duong beat Billy Thorpe, sorry, 8-5.
Oh, he beat Billy Thorpe. Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch. I didn't watch a lot of the match, but it looked like. I know I talked to Billy. He said he didn't break well. So, but.
Duong sits pretty high in the world ranking. I believe he is like in position 52 right now.
Wow.
Of course, nothing close to Gorst, who is number 15. But so far, both of them are through to the last 16 of the Kremlin Cup.
Well, he looks very smooth so far. And there's so many good players in Asia that the competition is very tough. So to be at a high level is very difficult. So
yeah, and just like Jeremy and myself mentioned during our previous TV match, for any reason we don't see that many of the Asians here in Moscow for the Kremlin Cup event.
Yeah, they must have a different tournament they're playing in this week over there, so
playing Chinese 8-ball or what?
I'm not sure, because I just came from China. I was playing in the China Open, and I didn't see any other events. I know there's a tournament in Beijing. It's coming up. I think Shane Van Boney he's going to try and play in that, so that should be a good tournament, but. It's a lot of travel for them too. So.
Well, just you look. That's a poor effort on the break shot by Fedor. And just recently, once again, Jeremy mentioned that to him, Fedor is pretty much perfect with his break shot. He's breaking even like better than Ruslan Chinakov.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he broke those really good, but didn't make a ball. That's one of the first dry breaks I've seen from Fedor. He broke very well when I played him on this table earlier in the tournament, and it was a tough match. I ended up losing 8-4. So, but he broke well against me. I scratched on the break a couple times and missed a couple shots. And it looks like Fedor's off to a little slow start here. So we need to. This is difficult. If he clips the 10, there's a scratch possible in the side pocket. So he's got to be careful of the angle the cue ball's coming off.
Yeah, managed to avoid the 10, but watch out the side.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That was a much more difficult way to do it, jacking up off the rail. And he executed that very well. I think it was a year or two ago I was here, and there was another Vietnamese player, Duong, and he's one of the top players in Vietnam also. So.
Well, actually, even when it comes to events being played in Asia, you don't get to see that many of the Vietnamese, actually.
Yeah, I mean
that I think that Vietnam idea is that the Vietnamese pool scene is pretty much like terra incognita, like they say.
Well, there's definitely good players in Vietnam. It's just maybe they don't travel as much as some of the other countries. You know, Philippines, they send a lot of players from Philippines, so maybe they're only sending a few players sometimes.
Well, RUS has just won on the double hill over Ruslan Chinakov, and is going to play right now his countryman, Josh Fiedler. German clash.
Well, Duong is played a perfect pool so far, from what I've seen. Very smooth. He's got a big extension like Shane Van Boning on his cue.
Well, I suppose it is not as big, probably like maybe 5 inches or so.
Yeah, it's you know, some players, and then they, instead of just using the extension for a long shot, they'll just leave it on. And
once again, yeah, we discussed with Jeremy that before, and probably there is a matter of balance preference also.
Yeah.
Have you tried using the same approach?
I haven't.
With extension on?
You know, when I started playing professional, I think there was different rules on length. They didn't. The cue was only allowed to be a certain length.
I'm not sure they limited.
There was before there was a limit on the length of the cue
and both the weight also.
The weight, and there was also you had to have a leather tip on your cue, you know, and then we didn't have the jump cues either. So after practicing for years like that, it's hard for me to just change to a longer cue. I've tried it though; it does feel nice. It's just, I think people forgot about the rules the way they used to be. Wow, that was a really good break.
Oh, that's a great one. Does he have a shot on the one, though?
I think so. I think the 6 just came over just enough, but he could be elevated slightly on this 2.
Yeah, pretty much, I would say.
I think you can see the left side of the cue ball, but maybe not enough to do much with it.
Speaking of equipment, it's interesting to see that Duong seems to be using the ordinary shaft, I think. I'm not sure it's low deflection.
High deflection.
It's just a
lot of the Asian
looking
players,
at the size of the ferrule.
Yeah, there's a discussion about that. Most of the Asian players, they haven't gone to low deflection. I think if he slow rolls this ball in, he'll have a shot.
And just on this shot, he had to take his cue extension away from his cue.
Yeah.
And
yes.
that was careless, like bumping in frustration
well,
on the floor.
It's from where the one was laying, I didn't even think the scratch on the side was possible. It was a difficult shot, the way he shot it. I'm just curious if he had enough on the one where he could just roll it in slow. Yeah, see what I mean? I think if he just dropped that one in, I think he could see the 2 from there. Maybe not to make it.
Yeah, managed to get the too strong rebound from the rail.
Difficult. Yeah, Corey's out. They're asking on the chat.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I lost to Billy Thorpe last night. And I was
Jeremy Jones. Yeah, they're being eliminated.
Yeah, I was ahead actually, 7-5, and made a couple mistakes there at the end. I shouldn't have made. I scratched on the break, and that's about it.
And if memory serves me, you were braking on the hill.
Yeah, I scratched on the side on the break. But I enjoyed the tournament. I played in the pyramid tournament too, so I really enjoyed that. I love watching those players. They're so good.
Well, right now we have our mechanical bridge fixed by Fedor Gorst. It has been broken during our previous TV match.
Oh, okay. Practice stroke. Okay, well, he made it. He didn't quite get the hit on it he wanted. I think he wanted to be closer to the 6, so it's always tough using the bridge. And then the bridges are usually, each tournament you play, they're different, so it's hard to get used to some of the players bring their own bridge around.
Well, actually, that's one of the parts of the game to be practiced.
Yeah.
Like using with the bridge.
Yeah. I think the difference in oh, misses 6. Tough start for Fedor. I think the best bridge players with the rest is snooker players, but they have the same. Every time you go to a snooker table, you have the same rest. They don't make different styles, so the bridge height is always the same. Whereas in pool,
at the same time, the percentage even for the snooker players is of course lower.
Oh yeah, but the table's tougher too. But I would say that their technique is better than most of the pool players. You know, with bridge technique is what I mean. And their equipment is consistent, at least.
Well, I guess Gorst cannot afford making any more mistakes, because he's about to be trailing 3-0.
Yeah, but at least this game is on Duong's break, you know, and Duong could have just broken ran out. So it's not.
Well, I mean, with ball in hand, the Gorst was supposed to do a little bit better than that.
Yeah, but it's worse if you're losing games on your break. You know, that's when you really start getting behind. Taking a timeout. Yeah, but Fedor, I've been impressed with the way he's playing.
Just go and ask Skylar.
Yeah. Played a perfect match. That's how pool is. You could go play a perfect match, and then the next one not play good or play a real bad one. I did that this year. I played one real bad one. The next match I played great. So sometimes it's like that.
What might be the reason for so drastic changes? Like, I mean, in a short time.
I think it's just concentration. You'll if you use up too much thinking, you know, maybe your brain gets tired. You know, you get such a high level of concentration, and then the next one you relax a little bit, or vice versa. You know, I felt like in my match, my first match, the other day, I didn't have enough concentration. I was a little bit lazy the way I was playing, and I played pretty bad. And so the next match I decided to have, you know, let's concentrate more, and then I played really well. So maybe with Fedor, his last match, he concentrated a lot, and now he's relaxing a little bit. So it's hard to stay at that high level of concentration.
I see. What do you normally do when you take your time out?
When I take my time out? Not much.
I'll just
go wash my hands. I try and get because my hands get sticky. I get chalk all over everywhere. So my hands get dirty. So I'll make sure to wash my hands and get some towels and clean the cue a little bit. And, that's the main thing. Maybe get a drink, but I don't smack myself in the face or anything.
Not a good way to go anyway.
Yeah, I try not to dwell on what things that have happened in the past. Just
maybe the positive ones, right?
Yeah, if you think about the positive ones, that's good. Yeah, but
I think it was Shane saying that in difficult situations he's trying to go deep into his positive memories.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe some winning tournaments or like some spectacular shot making or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, remember the times that you pulled through in the tough situation, you know, hill in the last of the tournament, and you made a nice run out. You just remember that you can do it under pressure, right?
So it's Fedor Gorst to break, and this is the very important one. Lost his cue ball a bit.
Well, he didn't lose the cue ball. Something came back and hit it. I think he's hitting the break.
He still made some kind of a slight cut shot on the one.
I don't think so. I think he just hit it very hard in the cue ball. Watch it comes straight back. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, he cut it off to the side. Yeah.
To the left, yeah.
Yeah, to the left. Yeah, end up getting hit.
Because normally with Fedor it just stays there in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Unless that it gets kicked, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So some early safeties.
A little too firm on that. He wanted to get that snug behind the 6.
Oh, he's got the 10 and the 8.
Yeah, he's got it behind the 10 and the 8, but there's a kick to the left side rail to hit the 2.
Well, maybe even going 2 rails and trying to make it, because like given the position of the red 3.
Yeah, I think you want to play some sort of safety here. Looks like he can see the edge of the 2, so he's going to thin it and come behind the 6. 2 or 3 rails.
Yeah, the 2 is going to
I think he
roll towards the 9, but
he overhit it.
Yeah, he left the shot.
It's delayed, huh?
Yep.
So we're
That's okay. They're just for our information.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were giving up what happened. All right, he's jacking up. See, I don't see any reason to jack up. I think you just make this ball and follow up a little bit. That was a good shot.
Well, for any reason, didn't want to follow the cue ball.
Yeah, I just think that shot's a little easier to make if you stay level and, just shoot it and just follow up maybe a foot or 2. As long as the table rolls pretty good. The way he shot it there makes it a little more missable. Now, he got the cue ball in a good position, but if he followed too far, it would have been behind the balls. But maybe that was the easier way for him to shoot it. Maybe he likes to shoot it that way.
Well, perhaps he was just trying to keep the angle he loved on the 3. Just not wishing to go towards the long rail.
Yeah. He's in good position here. Just stop it. It looks like the 9 goes on the side, so he can go 2 rails from the 6 to the 8. Try and fall straight in on the 8 ball. And then just roll forward a little bit, play the 9 on the side.
Going to stretch over a little. Yeah, nice call, Corey. 8 to the corner and 9 to the side pocket.
I think so, yeah.
For his very first rec in this match. But it is Duong breaking in the next.
Yeah. Oh, he shot in the corner. That was surprising. Looked like he had an easy shot in the side.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe he had the wrong angle. I think he had the wrong angle. It's tough to see from here. I think he had an angle going out to the middle of the table, so easy enough shot in the corner.
Well, the 10 ball, I think it was sitting in pretty much standard position, even to play it from the middle of the table. Shane is still in, guys.
Yeah, Shane had a good win, 8-4 against his opponent. Who was he playing? Not sure who he was playing.
Oh, I already forgot, but let me check.
I think he was playing a Polish player.
Yeah, Wojciech Stroczynski.
Yeah.
Who managed to beat Jeremy Jones, Konstantin Stepanov, and Thorsten Homan himself.
Wow. Yeah, so he had a tough match.
That was quite a run.
Oh, wow. Well, that ball really jumped in the air, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and that's quite a
Yeah, he's
break,
got a nice elevated bridge. He does a big elevated bridge, and he's got a good pop on the cue ball.
Well, like mentioned before, at this very TV table, the extra speed on the break shot is not required. You just don't put any body action into the shot, using your shooting hand mostly.
I was talking about it with, oh, he hooked himself, look at that. I was talking about it with Jeremy Jones. I think if you did the speed gun on the break, maybe they're not breaking even 20 miles an hour, I think, these players. So it could be considered a soft break. Even though the cue ball's jumping in the air, most of the cues they use are jump cues. They're really light with phenolic tip. It's not a leather tip, so.
Yeah, right.
I think all these players can break much harder if they want to. So it's more about control. Same thing with 9-ball. If you break soft in 9-ball, it's because you want to try and control where the balls go. So
right now we're one rail kick.
Oh, he almost made it.
Almost, like we know, is never enough.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess the black 8-ball passes.
I think the 8-ball passes a 10 into the pocket where the 3 is, the red pocket.
Yeah, that was my main attention.
So, you know, if you can make the 7 in the side, stay right there, shoot the 8, maybe come under, play the 9 up in the top corner.
Yeah, I guess with the 9 he just can shoot it both ways.
Yeah, it could go.
So
That's a good
all
shot.
all he needs to do now, I think, is just taking care of dropping properly on the 7.
Mm-hmm.
Just not to be going too much away from the 8. Falling on the right side once again. Well, according to our scoreline, Shaman Boning is down 2-0
Oh, wow.
with Wojciech Szewczyk, another Polish guy. Tyler Steyer is leading 1-0 over Kim Laaksonen.
Mm-hmm.
And the fastest match going on is between Lo Ho Sam from Hong Kong versus Alexa Petzel of Serbia. 3 apiece.
Mm. Oh, the 10-ball must go, the combination. So he's going to try and play the 10-ball combination. Now, the rules that they're playing, the 10 spots up. So...
And as I know, this is the one part you don't like about
yeah,
the current rules.
I don't like... Well, the rules have changed in 10-ball. We used to just play 10-ball the same rules as 9-ball. Just add the extra ball to make the break more difficult. But now, for some reason, they changed the rule where I guess the 10 doesn't count on a combination.
Well, I guess they were making every single attempt to make the 10-ball game being different.
Yeah, they're trying to change
from
it
9-ball, yeah.
to make it different. Oh, see, he didn't realize that ball was going to throw.
Yeah, correct.
It looked like it was dead, but when you hit it on an angle like that, there's a heavy contact.
Well, actually, like we were talking about this with Jeremy yesterday, these balls, the way they were sitting, they were almost frozen.
Yeah, and if there's more of a gap, they won't do that. But that was a little bit of a gap. It was a weird one where it could throw or it could cut. So that's oh man, he overkilled that. Now he's got to bank the 9 or play the 10.
Well, I guess there's a side pocket bank. Yeah, he made the call.
He's gonna have to. He's just going for the bank.
But I think this shot is just a half ball hit.
Well, these tables they bank kind of short, so this one I would try and
maybe some help of a right hand English.
See, look at how short it went.
Yeah.
Because the balls are like. There's no excuse for that one. I mean, he had.
Well, he didn't take that into consideration at all.
Well, he shouldn't have. He hit the 8 with a bunch of draw, like trying to kill the cue ball for some reason, where he could have hit it with high English, you know, and just came over one rail. That was a. See, that's what I mean by a mistake that you make with low concentration. So his concentration was low. He shot it lazy a little bit, and so you go through these levels where you're concentrating a lot on some shots, and then other shots you take it easy, like relaxed. You know, he played too relaxed on the last 3 balls there. It cost him. It's just too hard to concentrate on every single shot. You end up wearing yourself out.
We have also Konstantin Stepanov playing Mickey Krause, and the score is 4-5.
Okay, well, he hit the break nice, but didn't really get a easy shot. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he can cut this. It looks like he might be able to cut the one in the side pocket.
Well, it looks like he can, but after that, the contact with the 9 is inevitable.
Yeah. It might be better just to try and play a safety, roll the cue ball up on the 9, play the 1 to the bottom cushion,
well, of course,
or even leave it on the side cushion.
Yeah, Fedor Gorst raised his defensive game quite a bit during recent years.
Yeah.
Like he's maturing as a player, of course. Still many things to learn, I believe.
Yeah. Another thing that he could possibly do is he could hit it. He could hit this one firm, trying to get it to come around the table, like kind of like a cross corner bank, but just a little bit long, and get the 3-rail the one around.
He is cutting this in definitely.
He's going for the cut. Not real sure where the cue ball's going. Just hoping to get lucky there.
10 ball down.
10 ball down. That would have, if you're playing 9 ball, that'd be a win. Now I don't mind where.
I think that's not a good way to win a rack, actually.
No.
In the game of 10 ball.
Yeah.
Well, what I like about modern set of rules actually is like we still have the game of luck, which is 9 ball apparently.
Yeah.
But in other games, the luck factor is a little bit diminished.
Okay, so that last bank, it went really short. So this one, I would try and error on the long side, because the 4 helps the ball go in. That was a good shot. I missed a bank like that to beat Billy last night. I came just short, hit the point, and it was one I probably should have made, because if I bank it long, there was another ball there.
Well, that's surprising with all your experience.
I usually bank pretty good, but when, they only let you practice 15 minutes before the match, so you don't really know how the rails are going to react, and so you just have to make your best guess. Same thing in China. You're not allowed to practice in China, so
you mean like 5 minutes before the match is not enough to study the table?
Yeah, if you're not allowed, if you're not able to practice on the match tables, you're just guessing on how all the balls are going to react. So
yeah, I see.
Because you can practice all day at the pool hall, but the tables don't play the same. So if the cloth slides, or if the ball, just all the physics of the game, the friction of the table, and it takes time to get a little feel for it. So
yeah, and even throughout the day, the playing conditions can change. Like with the spectators coming in and it's getting more hot or more humid at the venue.
Yeah. Yeah, in America, we're used to being able to practice on the match tables, so it makes it a little bit difficult for us when we play the foreign tournaments.
Well, I guess you are supposed to have like at least one rack.
Yeah, they give you a few racks.
Yeah.
They do give you a few racks, but I'm sure for in Vietnam, I'm sure the tables in Vietnam play much different than here.
Of course,
Vietnam's a very humid area.
Yes,
It could play sticky.
Due to that, they install a very slicky cloth to just compensate the effect, so that it performs similar to the way it does here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they got less wool and more nylon.
Oh,
in
that's
the mixture,
interesting. Yeah.
So if you buy some cloth they use there in Asia and just bring it back to the States or here, it will be super slicker.
Yeah.
Almost like playing on ice.
Yeah, when the table gets more slippery, it's difficult to use a side spin. Side spin doesn't doesn't catch on the rails as much. So you need to use more draw and follow to move the cue ball around, as opposed to spinning the ball.
Or just maybe a stun shot.
Yeah, but as far as you know, players like Efren, they'll use inside English and spin the ball 2 and 3 rails to play position. When the table gets very slippery,
so
can't.
Efren would suffer. Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't spin the ball as much. He would use more high and low.
Of course, yeah.
You notice most of the guys that are doing good on the real slick tables, they just make straight shots and draw the cue ball to where they want to go.
So that's an escape for Fedor. Being on square after some early mistakes. Well, Niels Fine is 2-3 down versus Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And only 3 wrecks played so far between Shane and Wojciech. Shane is trailing 1 wreck. Doesn't make any of the 4 railers. 2 and 3 stayed on the table and gets the shot on the 1.
He made a ball though. He
Yeah.
made the 5 ball.
Yeah, does he go with a draw shot? Like
No, I think he's
3
just
rails
gonna
or just follow.
Oh, I think he can just drop it in with follow and come up.
7, yeah.
Yeah, come up toward the side. Cue ball won't hit the 7. Just come 2 rails up, just past the side pocket. He hit a little too hard. Needs that to slow down. Good thing it hit the 10.
Yeah, once again, like you mentioned, he might seem a little bit lazy in his approach thus far.
Yeah,
Not
I just
trying
think,
to over-concentrate, maybe.
Yeah, I just think he can try a little harder on some of these shots and not make the mistakes that he's made. Like there, he could have got the cue ball right on the cushion, so he had an angle on the 3 to get to the 4. But now he's straight in. He's going to have to stretch or maybe use the bridge and draw the ball. It's a little harder shot. You just followed it up, that's fine.
Yeah, luckily for him, he has got enough angle to do so.
Yeah. Not sure what the angle looks like here, but I don't think the 6 passes the 8 up in the upper corner. So you might have to follow up to the middle of the table. Oh, missed that one. He got away with it safe, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 4 is pretty much covered by the 9.
Yeah, left Fedor just maybe half of the 4. He's getting right down on it like he knows what he's doing. I don't know what to do from here. This is a confusing one. I think maybe he can bank the 4, 1 rail over towards the 8, and play the cue ball into the 10 and leave the cue ball behind the 9. Yeah, so I think you try and catch the 10 full and bank the 4 across. He's looking at trying to get the cue ball to pass the 10, but if he catches a piece of the 10, there's a scratch possible in the corner.
And it seems like there is not too much Fedor can do on this shot besides the option you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean the follow, if he passes the 10, it'll be fine. But if he catches the 10, there's that scratch possible. Okay, wow, that was a cool shot. Played perfect speed on the 4 to get
probably
behind
not.
the 8.
It went not the way Fedor intended. Just he raised.
Well, he did catch a
hand,
piece of the 10, so he didn't want to hit the 10. I think he wanted the cue ball to go more behind the 6, but then he clipped the 10, and it got the cue ball where it was. So.
Corey, do you know the reason Tyler is called CTE in our chat? Like using the system?
Yeah, he's a big advocate of the center to edge aiming.
Yeah.
So they use like a mathematical system to aim, and there's a lot to it. Tyler loves it. So I haven't gotten much into it.
Is it close to like backhand English in any way, or?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I can't really get into it. Tyler knows it pretty well, but he likes it. I think it makes aiming just a little confusing for me, but he seems to like it.
Because well, I remember there was like that much, I would say, hype over the CTE maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Looked like every single amateur was hoping that this is a magic wand or of any kind.
Yeah.
Just they won't need to be aiming anymore. And with the low deflection shaft, the game will be absolutely easy for them. But no way.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I've always used the ghost ball system to aim, and I just try and get the cue ball to end up where both balls are aiming exactly where I'm looking, and that'll get me through, tight spots, or if I have to hit half pockets or stuff like that. But if you're talking about hitting a quarter of the ball or an eighth of the ball, that's going to give you 4 lines off of a cut shot or whatever, and you might need millions of different fine-tuned lines to get into different spots. So to really aim precise, I think for me the ghost ball's the best.
This is actually the reason, it's written in there by Edward Hoffman. You need some time.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think for if you're shooting like a long combination or something like that, with the balls you're not looking at the pocket, you're looking at a ball that you're trying to shoot at. So yeah, it's definitely a way to do it, and it can work for some people, but I've always done the ghost ball.
Yeah, I see. So. Meanwhile, Fedor lands a very good safety on his opponent, Duong Quoc Hoang from Vietnam. Well, we've got so many matches being equal, like Petzl and Lohosom, Stepanov and Kraus, also fine, such as RUS. It's all square. And Shevchik went boning as well. It's 2 apiece. Only Ralph Suke gets a slight lead over his countryman Joshua Filler.
Tyler and Laxonen 2-1.
Yeah.
So they've only played 3 games.
Maybe the score is not updated properly.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, sometimes they just put the score on the cards.
Well, it is 2-1 definitely, and the starter is at the table.
Well, that was a foul. Tried to hit a tough one-rail kick. It looked like it slid a little bit.
Well, with ball in hand in this position, Fedor is supposed to run out and take the lead. No need to do anything extreme. in this kind of position. Just a stop. Gets a good angle on the 9 to go one rail forward and back. Or he just prefers to draw the ball. Wouldn't you, Corey, roll it forward on the 9?
It's one of those where you can do anything you want. You're still gonna run the balls. Maybe he shot the draw just because he wanted to practice his stroke a little bit. You know, sometimes in 10 ball the last 2 balls just get so easy that you can do anything, and you know, 10 ball is one of the games where there's less traffic towards the end of the game. You know, whereas a game like 8 ball, you get less and less options at the end, so the end of the game gets much harder in 8 ball, whereas in 10 ball the end of the game gets easier.
You know, the Vietnamese player takes a timeout, but I'm surprised about Fedor Gorst leaving the playing area also, because he, like we remember, already used his own timeout.
Oh, is that illegal? I think when one of the players takes a timeout, you can go with them. Not allowed?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Only one timeout per match for every person.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten called for that on a foul or anything.
back live, and it seems like Konstantin Stepanov is trying to be the first man through to the quarters, leading 7-5 over Mickey Krause right now, and at the table. You see, once again, his cue ball drifted to the left side on the break, but he got some very decent results from that.
Yeah, that was good. I actually like, I think if you miss it and you're breaking from the right, if you cross the cue ball over to the left, normally the one's going to go to the left anyway. So if your cue ball's going to the left, there's a good chance you're going to be pretty close to the one ball, you know. The cue ball and the one ball follow each other. Well, that's my mistake too. As a right-hander, it's easy for the cue to kind of head to the left when you break the balls for some reason. Okay, good shot. These balls are just kind of laying there.
Perfectly on the 5.
Yeah. 8-9 is in a good position. If you make the 5, shoot the 6, come to the middle of the table, all you have to do is really stop, draw back a little bit off the 8. That's the thing with 10 balls. If you get a good break, sometimes the balls just lay there where they're very easy. It's a breaker's game, just like 9 ball, same thing.
Do you miss 15 ball rotation not being played at the pro level?
You know, I always thought, you know, it's one of the popular games in the Philippines. I always ask the Filipino players, how come they don't have a rotation tournament? But for some reason, it hasn't taken over the tournament scene in the Philippines. They play 9 ball and 10 ball. I think it'd be a great game to play. I'd love to play a rotation tournament. So.
Well, Gorst extends his lead on his own break, so it's the turn for Duong Quoc Hoang. Try to do the same on his own. Konstantin Stepanov is still at the table, but taking his time. He is only shooting the 3 ball right now. And Tyler Starr is at the table with only 2 balls left there, 9 and 10. And the 9 is down already, and here goes the 10 also, I suppose, to go 3-1 up.
Okay, let's see if Duong can hit the break, get an easy run out.
He uses his elbow just to make his bridging arm steady.
Yeah, I think he's just hitting it slightly too hard. He made a ball that one, but well, he's got a lot of control. That cue ball comes back, stops nice.
Yeah, once again, when playing, when they even like switching back and forth from different table conditions, you have to keep an eye on like how the table is breaking first of all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have it down to an art. Now that break there, I would consider that a pretty hard break. You know, some of the guys just barely hit them. I would get picked on. Some of them say, hey, Corey, you shouldn't be trying to soft break 10 ball. And then I'd watch another guy, and he's like got a break cue, and he hits him, but they're breaking soft anyway. You know, it's not much harder. It might be 1 mile an hour harder, but they'll give me hell about my soft break. It's funny. It's a good game, though. I like 10-ball. I was actually breaking hard in this tournament. I would break from the back rail with the cue ball.
Yeah, we noticed that.
And I got a nice pop on it. I was making balls.
You were doing that the last year also.
I got second place in a 10-ball tournament in America, and I broke like that. I had to beat Chang Jun-Lin twice in the final, and I beat him in the first set, but the second set he got me. So he's one of the top 10-ball players.
Does breaking from the rail just provide you more stability with the bridge, or just takes away some cue ball power?
Well, I don't use a break cue. I break with my playing cue, and so my tip is kind of soft. So breaking from the middle of the table, it's hard for me to get the cue ball to jump. And most of the people, they call it a break cue, but they're all using jump cues. They're phenolic tips, and they're very light.
Yeah.
So I always like using my playing stick, so that's why I break off the back rail. It's kind of like a jump shot they're hitting, really. Shane Boning taught the world how to break, and now everybody breaks. He gets mad about it. He's like, oh, everybody breaks good now, They all watch him on the internet and copy his break. And
once again, that was one of the topics covered between me and Jeremy before this morning, and just he told me that it was Efren Reyes actually who was the first one, like making the balls to the side pockets on the 10-ball break.
Oh yeah, really? Efren was.
My impression is that Shane, the way you are putting it, Shane showed the whole world how to break, and I think actually the very first time it happened was you and him involved in a race to 100.
Oh man,
he just he was crazy over the break.
Yeah, I actually played terrible that match, but he still today, when we talk and I say, what's the best you've ever done breaking, he says when he played me. He broke and ran 7, and then he played a safety, and he broke and ran another 7 on me in that match. So that was pretty tough. I had just got done playing him. We played a 9-ball match in Atlanta, and he had just come out on the tour. And I gave him a spot, and I won. And then he said, "Hey, come to Sioux Falls." But we played 9-ball, and then he said, "Hey, come to Sioux Falls and play 10-ball." And I thought, oh, I'll go play this guy and beat him. And he just tortured me. He just, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, doesn't look good for Fedor here. I don't see any offensive option. So I think he has to clip the 1 on the right side and going all the way down behind the 9 and the 10. What do you think, Corey?
He's looking to hit. Yeah, I mean, if he shoots the 1 into the 5, tries to leave the 1 there and goes behind the 9, I think I would try and go towards the 3 or in between the 3 and the 9, because you have to hit this perfect for the 1 not to. If the 1's off the rail, you could make a cut shot if he leaves it open. So you want to get that 1
or maybe
touching,
a kick shot.
Well, we'll see where the 1 ends up, but if he leaves the 1 open, see how the 1's above the rail? He got the safety.
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. Eh?
But that was good that he sent the cue ball towards the 3, because if he sends it over towards like the 2 and the 1's there, you could make that cut shot since it's off the rail. That was a good shot, though. And he got the cue ball almost touching the 3, so now there's not an easy 1-rail kick. He's going to have to go multiple rails to get to this 1. Sometimes in a position like this, it's smart to tie a ball up. He could play the 2
You mean just taking the intentional foul,
an intentional
right?
foul, play the 2 like behind the 8 or the 2 towards the 9-10 or something like that, just to make it more difficult. But Fedor's got ball in hand. He's going to be able to. He's got ball in hand on the 1 if you do that, so it'd be pretty easy. I'm trying to see how he's looking to kick this ball. I think he's pointing at the rail, so he's looking to go 2 rails and hit where his finger is, which would be I think if he can go underneath the 8, I don't know if he can see enough of that rail to go 2 rails, but yeah, this is a tough one. Another thing you might
1, 2, 3, and
another thing you might be able to do is go between the 3-9 1 rail. Like if you use low left, and you kind of try and get the cue ball to go between the 3-9.
The way he's aiming the shot, the cue ball is going to open up off of the 3rd rail.
Or jack up over the 3 and go 2 rails. You know, that's possible also. I think this is going to go on the side, or towards the side. Yeah. Yeah, he needed to take the pace off that. If you shot it slower, you know.
Corey, which mutual shaft do you use now, and which tip?
Okay, so I'm using an Elk Master tip, and I have the Mucci Pro shaft. I'm still looking at the. I played a couple tournaments with the carbon fiber shaft that they have, the new one, but I'm still tinkering with the carbon fiber shaft. I plan to change to it, but I'm just trying to get the deflection to be similar to my wood shaft before, so I don't have to make such a big adjustment. So me and Bob, we're still working on getting me a good carbon fiber shaft to go to, and I'll probably change to it.
Just wait a couple of years and just stick to your wooden shaft normally.
What's that?
No, that carbon like abracadabra.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's necessary. The carbon shaft. I mean, there's definitely good points for carbon shafts. And then there's other things that are more difficult, you know. Just the flex of it. If it's not flexing like wood, it's like you shoot one shot and it reacts the same way, but then there's different things that we do where, like, if I shoot a hard shot, I know with wood that the deflection's a little bit different. You know, so I know to make certain adjustments, whereas the carbon fiber, the adjustments are different.
Yeah.
Like, you might have a low deflection on a soft shot with a wood shaft, and then when you hit it hard, you'll have more deflection with a wood shaft because the wood flexes. Whereas the carbon fiber, it's different, so it kind of cuts you off guard.
Another question about your tip, like whether you press it in any kind like a soak before pressing, maybe.
No, I don't do any magic abracadabra to the tip.
So you just take it out of the box and just have it installed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I bet as long as you're using your playing cue as a breaker, it hardens up pretty fast.
Yeah, breaking definitely hardens a tip. It's a soft tip to begin with.
So
but
maybe like in the mouth it is not so soft anymore.
Yeah, maybe since I break with it, it gets packed in pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just I think it's good to say you press it by using your cue as a breaker. The tip, I mean. That's another shot missed by Fedor Gorst. The 3 wobbled in the corner and stays. Well, he got a roll, I think. Got away with it. And now we need the template to be replaced. Well, no way to do it without a ball marker, I suppose.
Yeah, I would grab the top of it, flip it up. It's easy.
We've just got a very tight 10 smash finished.
Pyramid.
At the Pyramid TV table.
Yeah, I watched that. That was pretty good.
Hence all the round of applause you could hear probably.
Yeah. The tall guy wins. He's a great player. I've been watching him. He makes everything.
Yeah, once again, like I was telling you, he's a multiple champion already,
Yeah.
yet being young, like maybe in his...
Now, what's his name?
Josef Abramov.
Okay. Yeah, very...
Joseph, I think, in English.
Joseph, okay. See, I like kicking 2 rails at this 3-ball. Because you
try maybe even to make
yeah,
it
you
to
can
the
make
corner
it,
pocket, right?
and then the cue ball comes up for the 5. You can get position on the 5. You just got to hit it with the pace where if the 3 doesn't go in the pocket, it comes over 1 rail behind the 10. 9, you know. Just get the right speed, and it's a makeable shot. I've made a lot of these playing. This is a good 1-pocket shot.
Yeah.
So...
Well, you've got to have some 1-pocket background, I would say, to be able to see these shots.
Well, you know, the 1-pocket definitely, you shoot a lot of creative shots. He got good pace. 3 didn't come over quite as much, but I think it got over.
He came even close to making it.
Yeah, it got over enough where I don't think Fedor can cut it in the corner.
No,
he might be able to cut it, but it's thin, and then the cue ball's going towards the 9,
just
10.
like a simple containing safety here, like a rolling.
I think he'll thin this.
The cue ball and the 3-ball like separating on the long rails.
Yeah,
he's using the 10 and the 9.
He's looking to thin the 3, take the cue ball over towards the 6 because he's got the 7 and 8 as blockers. You know, can block the path of the cue ball.
Oh, but this shot is going to reposition the 3 on the long rail.
You really have to hit this thin if he's going to shoot it that way.
From this distance?
Yeah, it's difficult shot. But
I adore snooker players for being able to make all those thin, very thin contacts.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the frame.
Yeah, people look at snooker and think of the tough shots that they make, but they don't notice that the toughest shots the snooker players make are the safeties. Because most of the time they're shooting them from froze on the end rail, and they have to thin the ball or else they lose the game. And that's probably the most difficult shot in snooker. He hit that pretty thin. It was a good shot, but he left it over the hole and a window, it looks like. So... Well, Tyler Steyer's up 4-2 against Kim Laxinen. And
Ralph is leading 4-2.
Shane Van Boning 4-3. He's leading 4-3. And Niels is leading Sanchez Ruiz 5-3.
6-1. David Alcaida versus Konrad Juszczyszyn.
Yeah, David Alcaide won this tournament before, so he's got good memories here.
It was like 2017. He won over Alexandros Kazakis in the final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good shot there. Well, it came a little too far on this 7, but it looks like You can follow it 2 rails, just get to the middle of the table.
Yeah, right.
Or
I don't think there is any danger in going low this time. Long way.
well, he hit that a little too thick, so now he's got to bring the cue ball over. He might have to shoot this 9-10 combination. And it could get a little tricky because the 10's going to spot back up right where the 9 is. So you definitely have to take your time and think this one through, just to make sure you don't make any silly errors again. So he could also hit it hard and come across to play the 9 in the left pocket. That's what he decided to do, just so he doesn't have to deal with the spotting combination.
Just a pinch shot.
Overdrew it, froze himself on the rail. That was another lazy one.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, just low concentration. Good thing he made it. Being frozen on the rail makes it missable.
Of course, we've seen many top players like missing, like Alex Pagelainen and Niels Fine.
Yeah, that shot's missed a lot. Well, 5-5. Now we have a good match here. What do you think of all these tournaments that do double elimination in the beginning and then it goes to single elimination at the end? Do you like that?
Personally, the best format I like is round robin.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
For the preliminary stage, and then just let it have it like knockout system. But no double elimination. Round robin is the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
Especially for the top tournaments like World Championships, like it used to be back then, and maybe even for the China Open.
Yeah, the World Championship in Cardiff was a great format. The way the Matchroom Sport used to do it.
Also, yeah.
Matchroom Sport, they used to do the round robin in the beginning. I think that maybe the last 32. They did nice long races.
And
I think it was race to 11 or something.
You
race to 9.
So many nice matches.
Yeah, that was really nice the way they did it there for the World 9-ball. And the IPT also did the round robin in the beginning stages.
Well, the IPT was totally different. It's like going from one round robin to the other until only the last 6, I think, were left. And
they did the last 6.
And once again, it was round robin.
Yeah, then it went to the finals.
Yeah.
I actually like that just because, I mean, the best player is.
Yeah, I think also just
a good thing
you remembered that, because I think this is one of the format to keep an eye on, actually. I just looking forward for some cool promoters just to try to arrange some kind of event in this format.
I think the top 5 players in the world can dominate and finish in the top 5. Whereas if you have a single knockout and the top 5 players start drawing each other early in the tournament, you can't guarantee that they get to the end of the tournament.
Yeah, correct.
You know. So like if the fans wanted to come see the top 5 players in the world, if they get beat early, you lose ticket sales. That's one good thing about golf is all the top guys are going to be there all 4 days. If you wanted to go watch someone.
Most part of this wreck is history now. Duong still at the table, feeling comfortably. What's your take on alternate break versus winner break format?
Oh, I grew up playing winter break, so I like to get in a rhythm, and if I play one game and stop, it kind of screws my rhythm up. Whereas if I'm able to run 5-6 racks in a row, I can start getting into a nice pace of play and So I kind of like the winter break format. But you know, all of the sports they alternate. But if you're a top player, you would rather see winter break because most of the time you're breaking. Like if I averaged out all my racks for the year, I would be breaking more than my opponents are. So it's a better rule for me, winter break.
Well, actually, for me personally, I don't think that you should get rid of any of those. Like, let them be there. Like, both winter break and the alternate break, and just then the fans could compare these tournaments.
Yeah, I think it's fun to see a guy run, 8 racks in a row, and then if you're down in the match, like I was down at the U.S. Open, I think I was down 11-1 playing Carlo Biado, and he made a mistake, and I beat him the match. I came back and won. Whereas if I'm down 9-1, alternate break.
Oh, still some comebacks are possible. Like
yeah, but it's not.
Also, like almost managed to come up with one here.
But he's not coming up with one. He has to depend on his opponent making mistakes. It's not up to you anymore. Once you're stuck, you have to hope your opponent makes a mistake. Because if your opponent breaks and runs out on his break, the match has been determined already. So that's the only thing I don't like about alternate break. If I'm playing winter break, no matter how much I'm down, if I get a shot, I can hold the table and win the match. Whereas alternate break, I have to depend on my opponent making a mistake for me to come back and get in the set. So
well, I think
that's just my opinion.
Like current rules for the break, like the break has been changed also. Like, so I think it favors alternate break a little bit right now. I mean, you're not very consistent with your breaks, be it like a 9-ball on the spot or even 10-ball here.
Anybody that's a winning player, if they average out how many times their opponents are going to break against them in winter break, so say my average wins are 9-4, that means my opponents break on average 4 racks. If I vote for alternate break, I spot all my opponents half the breaks. So it wouldn't be in my best interest to do that. I'm just giving up weight, really. So I like winter break.
Well, Federer managed to reposition at least I think 6 balls behind the head string on his break, but managed to get rid of them quickly, as all of them were low-numbered balls. And on his way to victory in this particular rack, bringing it all square once again at 6 apiece.
Ask if Corey, am I playing in the All Japan Champion 10-ball in November?
I'm not sure it's 10-ball though.
I think it is 10-ball. I think Johan Chua won it last year. Actually, the last time I was in Japan, I played the All Japan 9-ball, but I think it was in 2000. 2001 or 2000 or something like that, and I won it. I beat Meek Emin in the final, but I haven't been back since, and I would love to go to Japan, but it's always right on my birthday. My birthday's in November 20th, and so they put the tournament right on my birthday. And
so go and celebrate it there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to talk to maybe the Japanese Federation and see if they'd like me to come, but it's also about going the place that you have the best chance to do well, So.
Well, RUS is still leading 5-2 over Filler. David Ilcade apparently.
Okay,
through,
Tyler
yes.
Steyer's 4-3. Shane's back 4-4 now, so those matches have tightened up a little bit. Niels is up 5-4. David Alcade just
yeah, he joins Stepanov in the quarterfinals.
Well, the other day he broke or made 7 balls on the break, so you know he's really confident with his game right now. So.
Oh, I mean, this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
wow.
at the pool hall, he
That
broke and made 7.
That must be a record.
Yeah, they have it on tape. I watched it. 6-6 here. This is getting tight.
Yeah, that's a race to 2 from now on.
Yeah.
Speaking of races, like whatever race it is, it usually comes down to a very short set.
Well, if both guys break and run 4 racks in the match, which is very likely, and they're alternating the break, you could just cancel those games out. And now the match is just a race to 3. So I just believe the alternate break just shortens everything. It just makes everything more of a coin flip, as far, but definitely keeps the matches tighter, and it's exciting for the fans to watch the close matches at the end for sure.
Holds the cue ball nicely.
That was a good shot. Yeah, he got that really straight. He's a little straighter than he wants on this too. He'd like to have the cue ball out in the middle a little bit more. So now I think he has to hit it pretty firm to get the cue ball off the rail away from the 5.
Right. Also maybe a little bit just below the center of the cue ball, just to bring it closer to the 3.
He's got it okay. He's got enough angle to get off the rail. Looks like he's following the ball. Okay, that was a good shot. Yeah.
Well, it's not that Federer is not confident enough with his draw shot, but I see him using this option quite often, like going for the follow instead of drawing the cue ball.
Yeah, follow is always a better option. Like if you have ball in hand, you never want to draw the cue ball. Anytime you draw the cue ball, you have a chance to miscue. With follow, if you can choose follow, you're supposed to choose follow because you're not going to miscue.
And of course, with the follow stroke, the cue ball control, I mean, the distance is much easier to calculate than that with the draw stroke.
Follow, all you have to do is adjust the speed.
Yeah, there is a special drill like for cue ball control on the draw shot, like drawing 1 diamond off the object ball, then 2 diamonds from the same position, 3 diamonds, and just go ahead and try it. That's a very difficult one.
Yeah, I'd like to do that one. I need to work on that for my game. That's one of the hardest things in the game is to control the speed of the draw shot. I think that's one of the things that Federer probably does the best of the players that I've seen. He really can control that draw shot speed.
Well, and your current captain for Team USA, Johan Rausing, he's got several drills to develop that special skill.
Yeah.
Like either using stand follow or stand draw, just maneuvering the cue ball in these tiny areas.
Yeah, there's different theories on should you use your tip position and use the same stroke to adjust the draw, or should you always use very low and then just adjust the speed? So there's 2 ways to do it, and I like the second one, just keeping the tip position very low and then adjust your speed, because then the object ball is moving slower to the pocket, and you don't have a chance to. You're not going to miss as many shots if you're trying to shoot a ball really hard with just 1 tip low. The object ball is going at such a high pace to the pocket that it has more of a chance to wobble in the pocket. So I like the guys that use the real smooth draw stroke with a very low tip position. I think Federer's very good at that.
Well, guys, like you probably could hear, we are trying to provide you some information about the matches still going on. It's 4 apiece between Tyler and Kim Larson.
Yeah, came a little too far on this 7. He would have liked to be in the middle of the table, but okay, he's looking to come all the way across one rail. He would need a pretty sweet stroke to kill it on the.
And a very soft touch on the cue ball.
I mean, to stay on the right side of the table for the 9. So he's going to go ahead and hit this a little firmer and try and come across one rail. He's going to need a lot of concentration on this one. Make sure you make the ball here. This is probably center, low English, maybe a little bit of right. A little bit of right spin. That was a good shot.
Had multiple pockets to.
Well, yeah, he really killed that ball.
Yeah, 4 pockets.
I know he was pointing at the other side of the table like he was going to come all the way across, but I guess he must have got down on it and felt differently. And so he's got the angle going up table. He can follow this and just take it 2 rails.
Once again, I like this, and like mentioned before, I think that Fedor likes it either.
Yeah, I mean, he could also pinch it and draw it and just take the shot, but I think rolling it and coming up 2 rails is probably the best play.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy, that ball looked like it skidded. That was good. He just went 1 rail. Good shot.
So the Russian kid is on the hill first.
Yep.
It's 7-2.
Now, what's Federer's best finish in this tournament?
I think semifinal.
Semifinal. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely got the game to win this tournament. He's
I
got all the tools.
It was last year, I believe, and maybe 2 years ago also, or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Souquet is also on the hill versus Joshua Fedor.
Okay.
7-2.
The 2 Germans. Germany, match of Germany there.
But there will be only one. As Thorsten Hoang is already out. And some other guys. There were more Germans this year. So Federer is breaking for the match. Very important shot for him.
Oh, he hit that one. That was best break. I can't believe he got that weird kiss. God, it looked like the one was coming straight back to the corner, too.
Well, once again, that's the luck factor of the game.
Yeah, he stopped that right in the middle, didn't he? I don't know what ball hit his cue ball. That was weird. Let's see what happens
Probably
here.
the 3.
Yeah, we have a replay. It sure looked to me like he stopped it right in the middle.
Yeah, that's okay. That was quite all right.
Yeah.
And just that was another matter we were discussing with Double J here in the booth before. What if the preferable way to break is just drawing the cue ball all the way back to the head cushion, just in order to avoid all these collisions?
Yeah, I've broken like that before. The problem when you draw the cue ball back is those 2 corner balls, they track right to the middle diamond. So you almost get more kisses that way. Yeah.
Well, the rollout is on, I think. Not sure why Federer should be shooting this straight away.
I think if you're gonna, he can see a piece of the 1. I think what he's supposed to do is try and cut the 1 thin over towards the 8, and send the cue ball behind the 9 and 10. If he's gonna play a safety. He's trying to call this in the corner. I don't know. I don't know where the cue ball goes.
What about the 4 ball, though?
I think the cue ball is going to go into the 4.
Yeah.
But tough shot. Oh no, I just played the safe. Okay. But he caught the 9 and 10, and ended up cue ball crept out a little bit behind the 4.
So probably he was just trying to.
I think he's trying to
make the one off the 10, maybe. Just,
well, I don't think he
that was
could
the reason for the
see.
call.
Oh, okay. So he's trying to play the 1 off the 10. That's actually a really creative shot. I just don't think he could see enough of the 1 to be able to hold the cue ball behind the 4. Just maybe if he just hit it a little too hard, then I guess. That's a creative shot. Okay, playing for the side pocket there. It's pretty good. I like this 3 shooting it in the side and draw into the rail. Try and contact the rail even with the 4 and come out for the corner pocket.
Yeah, he's definitely go this way, you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he ran into the 4. Look at that. That actually works too.
And it looks like it was intentional.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bump it. That's a good shot.
And the Americans left. Yes, Shane is playing right now, and Tyler also.
Yep, Shane and Tyler. He looks like he's straight on this 4. Trying to draw back a foot. Just to get a nice angle on the 6. See, if he drew it back further, that 6 would be easier to get on the 8. This one's a little bit funny. Just the pace that you have to hit it. He's a little bit elevated on the rail. Cue ball's close to the rail. I kind of like hitting this with just like a center ball, firm. Oh, what a shot that was. Nice kill shot. That was a steep angle on that 6. He took all the pace off the cue ball. Beautiful kill stroke. You got the ball to draw with a nice soft stroke on that to hold the cue ball. Well, this is looking like the old Hill thriller here. That's a hell of an out.
And it is Duong breaking on the hill.
Yeah, that was no easy out. No easy run out there. Very good. I actually like the shot choice Fedor did on that. I mean, trying to hold the cue ball under the 4. I just think he just over hit it slightly, but I think it was a good choice. Okay.
So Shane is up 6-5 and at the table. Once again, look at his elbow.
Yeah, his palm of his hand wasn't on the table. Okay, he made a ball and hung the 1 up. Wow, what a break. And the 2's hanging too. Looks like he can make the 1. The 6 is there. The 6 is right next to it. If the 6 would have got over
to draw a little bit off the 6, I believe, just to get better position.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if the 9 is is in the way.
Or he can even avoid the keys with the 6 by using like the whole width of the corner pocket.
Yeah,
cheating to the left a little bit.
You're definitely going to want to cheat the pocket a little bit, but I think he's going to hit the 6 no matter what. And he's looking at the tangent line off the 6. So where he's contacting it, if he draws a cue ball, what direction is the cue ball going to go in? You know, so I think he wants the cue ball to go towards the 8. Draw back maybe a few feet. There you go. Yeah. Now it looks like he has a slight angle on the 2. He can use just a lot of spin, a lot of right-hand spin to take the cue ball 2 rails for the 3 ball. But the 4
doesn't go. Yeah,
but the 4 has no pocket. So actually, another play, if he needs an angle on the 3 to get onto the 4. So you could shoot the 2 and take the cue ball closer to the corner pocket 2 rails with draw.
What about trying to go for the 4 like closer to the 7? This way you have one side pocket and one corner pocket.
I like that. Yeah, I actually do like that play. He needs to get an angle, which he's not going to get this way. He's going to be straight in.
Yeah, correct.
So that's what I mean. If he drew that and came close to the corner, he could send the cue ball kind of between the 3-10 towards the 8. And then he would have an angle to get easily onto the 4. But going around the back of the 3 makes it where he's always going to be straight in on that 3, which is a little, this is a tougher shot. Now he's got to control the draw shot again. And we'll see where he ends up here. I mean, he can always play safe on the 4 too. Oh, he missed the 3.
Oh, that's a chance Fedor needed that much.
Yeah, Fedor jumped out of the chair. And he's not faced with a very easy shot. This is a thin cut. He's looking at if he can cut the 3 in and run into the 4. And who knows? They might end up playing easy if he does that.
What about going for safety? Like
yeah,
positioning the 3 ball right in the middle of the short rail and just driving
I'll
the
tell you what you
cue
could
ball,
do. You could play the cue ball over behind the 8 and 2 rail the 3 towards the 7. And that's an easy safety to hit, other than taking this shot. If you hit this shot and hang the ball up or something, you're probably going to lose the match. So we'll see what he does. The cut's makeable, though. And the tables are playing pretty smooth, and the balls are sliding in, so that makes this shot a little bit easier. Yeah, so 2 rails. If you wanted to play the safety, you'd play the cue ball just above the 8. You 2 rail the 3 over towards the 7, maybe in between the 7 and 4, to where if you do leave a jump shot or a shot, you're going to leave a combination. And most likely.
Well, of course, like the majority of top players, I believe you don't want to give any kind of chance to your opponent.
Yeah, even making the 3, there's no guaranteed position on the 4. So even if you do make the 3,
maybe just bumping it slightly, like going 2 rails cross table. This way, yeah.
Wow, what a shot that was.
Ooh. That's a great effort by Fedor.
That's exactly what he was trying to do. He hit it perfect. He had to make the tough cut, and he had to bump that 4 on the right side. What a shot. That'll win you the match. I'm telling you, Fedor's got a chance to win this tournament. He's breaking well enough. His stroke's good. Yeah, I'm looking for him to do really well.
Worried by a couple of mistakes following this very match. I hope that Fedor forgets all these kind of negative things straight away as soon as this match finishes, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, just make sure you Concentrate hard on these last 4 balls and make sure you... No silly mistakes here. Side pocket's right there, so to get any angle on the 8, he's going to need to be frozen on the rail. Because if he gets out in the middle of the table, he could also try and play for the side pocket. If he's got angle on the 7.
Does he have enough angle to go just forward?
Slightly. So now he's a little steep on the angle.
He's okay, I believe. Just going 3 rails,
yeah.
3 rails around for the 9.
Well, it's a thin cut. It's a pretty thin cut. He's got to miss the 9. He's got to get the speed just right. This isn't as easy as it looks. I mean, he would have definitely rather been...
Some portion of help in English would just help to avoid the skid.
Definitely helping English, but I'm looking at the angle. He's got to hit this pretty thin to make it, and then you got to make sure you don't hit that 9. And then coming out those 2 rails, the cue ball can't be moving very fast. He's going to have to get within... this would be a good shot if he hits it good. There, he missed the 9. Beautiful shot. Took the speed off the cue ball. Hit that really well.
So needs to kill the cue ball right now with a delicate touch and a good follow through.
Sometimes on these you can just play and roll it and go ahead and run the cue ball into the 10, bump the 10 towards the hole. I think you can just draw past it. Yeah. Sweet stroke. Fedor. That was a good run out.
All right, he joins Konstantin Stepanov there at the quarterfinal stage. So, thank you very much, Corey, for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Stay tuned, guys, for our next match of the day, the quarterfinal stage. Not sure about when it starts. I think it is supposed like maybe to be in 5 minutes, but we still have at least 3 matches going on, so I'm sure just we've got some like 15 to 20 minutes break. So be back.